That's like the dumbest thing ever. For a woman to feel as if she can trust a man that broke trust with another woman while talking to you, texting you, spending money on you, sleeping with you, flirting with you, confiding in you about his current relationship. Because what he is really doing is grooming you and he's molding you. So a lot of time he makes his
Some of y'all men be picking the wrong woman. Just because she got a big butt and a smile and a nice body, that don't mean she a good woman. Just because she got a nice body, that don't mean she a good woman. Just because she look good, that don't mean she a good woman. She look good for herself, but she may not be good for you. She gonna drain you, she gonna drain you, and she gonna take you, and she gonna break you. She gonna separate herself. When you stop giving that money, when she stop getting what she want, she gonna go to another man and get what she want. So you gotta know what you want. Do you want a one-night stand, or do you want a wife? Do you want somebody to be friends with you, or do you want somebody to be playing around with? Half of these women be married and they still talk to you. It's a dangerous game out here. Know what you're looking for. Know what you want to step in. Know what you're going to. Cause just because she hug you at night, that don't mean she won't hug a man in the daytime either. Facts.
I wish I was a younger man. You know why I wish I was a younger man? Because y'all would accept what I have to say. When I try and give advice and stuff like that, there's a generation thing going on. They're like, oh, that's an old dude, I know I got the gray beard going on and stuff like that with the hair, what I'm saying? Some younger people, they accept the word from older generation. Some of them, you know what I'm saying? But then I can understand the ones that are not accepting word from the older generation because some of the older generation don't have nothing to offer because there's some fools in my generation. There's some fools. They trying to be young and still young like the millennials, maybe the Gen Zs too. But I'm going to tell you something. When you find someone, and I'm talking to you young people, y'all find someone who's trying to offer something, just listen. I'm talking about someone with some wisdom. I ain't talking about no fool out here trying to be young. Anyway, let me get to what I was getting ready to say. You know what I'm saying? The red pill community. Let's talk about that. Guys in the red pill community said that women have bad choices in men. They don't know how to choose a man. They don't know how to choose a man. Hell, men don't know how to choose women. Men have poor choices when it comes to choosing women. I had poor choices when I was growing up choosing the type of women. You know why? And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, I'm going to tell you why women have poor choices in choosing men. Because when they were growing up, all they heard from the older women how to, not all of them, but, I've heard it. They'd be sitting in the kitchen doing their hair. Back then they had the hot iron. They was like straightening the hair and stuff like, yeah, child, look, let me tell you something. When you get older, make sure you have a man that got money, to make sure you have a man that's going to take care of you. And, and also too, you can have your money and he'll have his, and then his money is yours and your money is yours. I've heard that, And so they're thinking when they come, they're not looking at the type of man when they grow up. They're not looking at the substance. They're not looking at the character. They're looking at what he can offer. And here's the problem with the men. When we were growing up, and this is my experience, all I heard from my social circle and friends in school and stuff like that, with my peers and stuff, whoo, boy, she's bad. She got a bad body. Oh, man, she's fine. Oh, she's PHAT. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, look at that fat. That's all we learned. Just like the females, the women, that's all they learn. Most of them. And most of them learn from the fantasy, the cartoon with the Cinderella and all that stuff like that. Fairy tale stuff, Nothing that was concrete and sound to make sense to help them go through life when they get older to be able to choose a better mate. So both sexes have problems choosing a mate. Both sexes, not just the women. I mean, let's keep it real. I know some guys don't want to hear this, but I'm telling you, I see a lot of guys that complaining. Women don't see it because they're not now, they're not in our group, our circle. Men are not going to complain to women. They're not going to say, oh, what, women, they just, she this and she that, she broke my heart, this, that, and the other. Men, we talk about that stuff to each other. We don't say broke your heart and stuff like that. We have code words that we use to get our point across. But what I'm saying is this. Both sexes have problems choosing a good mate. Both. Okay? And that's a fact. So let's get off of that stuff about, women are the only ones that have poor choices in choosing a mate. Get out of here. And see, that's the problem. That's why both sexes, you have some in our communities, not everybody, but they're going at each other. They're going at each other. You know why? Because of the way I just explained it. How the men, my experience in growing up as a man in my circle, and the women, their experience as women growing up in their circle. So when they got older, they choose, and they don't have the right instructions in choosing the right mate. So they choose the wrong mate, have a problem with that mate, then choose another mate, they have a problem with that mate, then choose another mate, they have a problem with that mate, they get their heart broken, this, that, and the other, because they choosing the wrong mate. And then they get the bad experience and it builds up, and then they don't like that mate. So they start talking about that particular race of mates, of men. And the same thing with the women. Seriously. That's the problem. That's the problem. And the reason I say I wish I looked younger and 35 years carved off of me, because I know that my message would be readily more accepted by a younger generation. But I'm trying to tell y'all something. So y'all just need to stop beating each other down, especially the men in the red pill community, man. You know what? Come on now. Some alpha men, they choose the wrong females. They choose the wrong women. They got bad choices too. Come on. Because you know why? They're looking at the body, they're looking at the booty, they're looking at the boobs. Seriously. And they ended up marrying whatever that man, and then later on they find out, oh my goodness. I mean, there's games from both sides. They need to stop this nonsense, man. I ain't never seen so much nonsense in it. In my generation was this much nonsense. We had our problems and stuff like that when it came to the sexes, but nothing like this. Come on. I know social media has a lot to do with the TV, the networks and all that stuff like that. Yeah, that's true. But come on, y'all, wake up. Wake up. That's all I have to say. End of story.